You know she's thinking of you. The reason you don't want to think that is because it gives you hope, and holding on to hope can sometimes be painful. She might even be watching your stories, low-key interacting with your content. She's up at 3 a.m. and she usually goes to bed around 10 p.m. You can see her type that message and then delete it. She wants to text you. She wants to reach out to you. But here's why she doesn't. Why she actually wants to text you. Emotional pull never fully goes away overnight. That is, it takes time to get over somebody. And I know when you're in the moment and you have those arguments and she tells you that she never wants to hear from you again, that she doesn't want anything to do with you, to never call her again, or whatever it is your ex told you. She absolutely means those things in the moment, but only in the moment. Yes, it is partially her ego that wants you to reach out to her, but it's also what she wants deep down because she wants to connect with you again. See, our nervous system doesn't like forming bonds, forming connections just to break them a week or two, a month or two later. And you wouldn't feel that pull with her if it wasn't at least partially mutual. Meaning she may not feel it as much as you do, but that's only because you're the one sitting there going through it and you're facing it. See, she doesn't have to face it. She can distract herself for as long as humanly possible before eventually she'll have to. And she'll have to because her nervous system cannot carry that baggage, that weight around forever. Eventually she's going to have to put it down. She's going to have to face just how heavy that really is. Humans tend to look back on the past with rose-colored glasses. In other words, we tend to look back on our past, on our relationships, on our friendships, on the bonds that we form, and we tend to think that they were better, stronger, healthier than they actually were. We start to ignore the bad times and we start to romanticize the good times. We'll laugh silently about the inside jokes that we shared with them. And I'm going to get really personal right now, okay? I understand what it's like to be lying in bed and to think of those intimate moments. And I'm not talking about sexual things. I'm talking about the intimacy that you had with her. I promise you, bro, you're not the only one that thinks about things like that when we lay down at night. And I can also promise you that to a lesser degree, those thoughts have entered her mind as well. But she doesn't want that connection, that bond to keep forming, to keep solidifying, so she tries to get rid of it. And trying to get rid of it hurts. That's often why you'll see a partner go cold or just completely avoid you because they don't want to handle it, even burying the bond, destroying it, killing it, however you want to put it. And in order to avoid all of that pain, facing it or killing it directly, it's easier to just run. It's easier to just hope and pray that that bond fizzles out on its own. That's oftentimes why we see our exes jump straight to Tinder right after they're done with us. In a weird sort of a way, it's a compliment because we hit them that deep to where they could not sit a single day, a single week, feeling the void that they feel by not having us in their lives. Loneliness hits, and it hits hard, especially late at night, especially whenever her date doesn't feel like it used to feel with you. Even if she sleeps with him, that bond, that connection, it's not going to feel the same. It doesn't have the history or the depth that you had with her. By propping up her date on Facebook or Instagram, making him look like he is the greatest thing that's ever happened to her, and that she's so happy and so lucky that she found him when she did. But all that is her taking her fantasy projection, her fantasy man, which looked a lot like you, by the way, and making him wear that mask. It's a way of telling her that she didn't actually lose anything of value whenever she broke things off with you. Because her new guy is a step up from you, so what does she really lose? I know that hurts to hear, but that's the story that she has to tell herself because her ego cannot handle knowing what really went on. But deep down she knows, and that emotional weight will one day have to be put down. You will have to be dealt with. Until then, she will carry you. She'll carry that relationship, even into her new one. Don't forget, in every single one of these videos, in the description above is my link. Click it, schedule something with me. Seeing you move on can be a two-edged sword. If you try to pull this move and act like you absolutely do not care at all whatsoever, or you try to make it look like you're moving on with a new girl within, a couple weeks of you guys breaking up, it could have the opposite effect where she writes off in the book that she was nothing and that you're completely moved on, kind of like you're probably doing with her and her new man. You want to write that off so you don't have to deal with the pain of being rejected on top of everything else. But going silent often triggers the exact same reaction without the feeling of it being so permanent. And what that looks like is you going no contact. You stop interacting with her. You give her the gift that she asked for, which was you no longer in her life, no longer in her orbit. It's your silence that triggers curiosity and that regret. And it's that curiosity, it's that regret that makes her wonder about you, that makes her click your profile even if she blocks you and unblocks you for 5 minutes and then reblocks you again, and you'll never know it. She can do all of this on her own time and you will never know, because that's what blocking usually is. If you've been blocked, it's a control move. It's her regaining control over the dynamic that she had with you because she felt it slipping. She felt like it was slowly fading out of her control. So blocking you is a way for her to regain that control over the silence. And when you don't react to her blocking you, you take that power right back from her. That's what actually makes her spiral. That's what actually makes her reach out, even if she just blocked you. It's not even that uncommon. I've seen that happen many, many times. Even at our most base needs, human beings are slaves, if you will, to pattern. We love the comfort of the familiar. We all have our favorite restaurants, our favorite spots to go. That's our patterns. You and your ex had the same thing. And I'm not just talking about places to go. You guys could have had a pattern like talking every single morning or every single night, maybe even every single lunch break, something like that. And whenever that pattern is broken, that dopamine hit is getting missed. And your brain and your nervous system is registering it. It's telling you something's wrong, something's missing, you need that hit. And it's telling her the exact same thing. But she can get another dopamine hit simply by entertaining another guy. It's not going to be as good as the one she gets from you. But it's better than nothing. It's better than you actually getting nearly nothing now, which is why it's hurting you more than it's hurting her. You're the one that has to deal without the dopamine and that has to quit cold turkey. She can get other dopamine hits, even though they don't mean as much. It's still better than having to go absolutely cold, absolutely off immediately. Let's talk about her inner conflict. Number one, her pride and her ego. She does not want to appear weak or needy or desperate. And that's such a wild thought to think about because she was the one that broke up with you. And yet she doesn't want to look needy or desperate. And it's like she holds all the power. You know that logically. But it's not going to feel like that to her if you've done this right. See, when she breaks up with you, she's the one in control. She's the one that controls that silence. But when you go no contact, when you remove yourself from her life, it's going to feel like she doesn't really own the silence anymore. Like she's not really in control. It's kind of like you telling her, you can't fire me, I quit. And even if she does reach out, she doesn't want to feel like she'll be rejected. And if you've done everything right, it's looking like you're moving on like a healthy, secure person would, and she has it in her mind, how is he able to do this? Like he was begging me a month ago, and now I haven't heard from him in almost, a month and 5 weeks, 6 weeks, something like that. And she will come looking. She will scroll through your profile. She'll ask about you. She will check somehow, some way. And she still will not reach out. Why? Because her fear and her ego could still be in charge. They're telling her that she's better than you, that she doesn't need you, that she's a strong, independent woman and she don't need no man. And that's such a ridiculous statement. It's like we as human beings have evolved to need each other. There is nothing weak about this. And yeah, it needs to be said, she wants to win the breakup. And everybody plays this game. You're trying to win the breakup by going silent, by going no contact. She's trying to win the breakup by getting you to break and reach back out to her. This is why some women will still watch your stories. They'll still interact with your posts, rarely. They might even bait you with some sexy close friend story to get you to reach back out to them. Just know if you see those signs, that most likely her ego's actually in charge. She doesn't actually want you back yet. She wants to bait you into reaching out to her, so that would give up more of your power that she feels slipping away from her. It's just a roundabout way for her to gain control over you. Number two, let's talk about the fear of rejection. And this is such a wild thought because she's already rejected you. And that's exactly what plants it in her head. She thinks that if she reaches out to you, you're now going to reject her purely on the basis of your ego and your pride. You ever see that movie Inside Out, where they have the little characters that are personified as emotions? If that were real life, the modern woman would have a 9-foot tall giant called ego that would be running that entire show. And it's that ego that commands her, that tells her every single move she has to make. And of course, she feels that since her ego's in charge, you must be the exact same way. Your ego must be in charge of you too. That's why she's not going to know how to handle if you just act calm. If she removes you from your close friends list, if she unadds you, unfollows you, if she ultimately blocks you, and you just remain calm, you are going to reinforce brand new thoughts inside of this woman's head, mainly that of, do I even matter to this man? And the honest and simple truth is, yeah, we love that woman. We do not love her ego. She does not want to reach out to you for the fear that you would reject her purely based on your ego. She knows that reaching out to you is her giving up the last of her power in this silence, in this new dynamic, and placing her and her emotions at your feet and praying that you don't do the exact same thing that she did to you. And that level of vulnerability is not for the weak. So even if she wants to deep down reach out to you, talk to you, anything, most women will not do it, especially at the beginning of a breakup. The first few weeks, maybe even the first couple of months, they're not going to want to reach out to you because their ego cannot handle being vulnerable. Why? Because their ego is running the show. And if their ego doesn't run the show, what other emotions are there? Number 3, social pressure and advice. Every man has been through this before, where their stupid friends are toxic, giving her terrible advice. And of course, they're all single and miserable as well. And most of them aren't even attractive, but they're trying to tell her how to get a man, how to keep a man, which is absolutely hilarious. It's like your fattest friend giving you dieting advice. It's like, if I wanted dieting advice, I would literally go to anyone else. I would trust a random stranger than the fat kid. This is also why it's so difficult to date a woman who is structured. And by structured, I mean a woman who reads dating books, who tries to better herself with modern mental help. She'll listen to these stupid theories like the let them theory or the black cat theory or whatever theory is popular now on TikTok. Every single one of these theories have the same thing to tell women, and that is you are perfect the way you are. Don't change a damn thing about yourself, which by the way is to tell them that they don't need to improve on anything. They're perfect. And that a man should grovel to you. But of course, when a man actually does that, it kills all the attraction. And then they wonder why the men who they can get to do that, they don't feel anything for, and they end up chasing the ass. It's like, wow, I wonder how that works, you know? But the thought that their egos could ever be wrong will never come to their mind. They would rather burn down that entire relationship than come to grips with the fact that their ego is way too much in control. So that's what they do. They let you go, they burn that bridge, and they move on. But don't get me wrong, they take the scar and they take your baggage straight into the next relationship. This is why the modern woman has so much trouble truly letting go of her exes, because she didn't really let them go. What probably happened was the guy drew a boundary, you know, like I don't want you showing half your ass and tits online, which is pretty basic stuff. And the modern woman can't handle that. If a man tries to tell her what to do, oh, the man's just gone, you know what I mean? So like I said, they'd rather burn that entire relationship because you'll never tell me what to do. What they'll do is they'll go find a relationship with a man who's a little bit less, I don't want to say beta male because I'm not really sure I agree on all those terms and stuff, but she'll find a lesser man that will simply let her run the show. And of course, she's not going to be very attracted to him, even if she sleeps with him. What she really likes, what she's really sleeping with, is her sense of control over that entire relationship. It's narcissism at its core. How to handle her silence. And you already know the first one, that is to stay and maintain true no contact. And here's the thing, I know you're tired of hearing it, but there is not a day, and I kid you not, there is not one day that goes by that somebody doesn't message me on Instagram, that somebody doesn't get a hold of me through, TikTok or something like that tells me, oh, I screwed up, I reached out today. And it's like, no matter how many times I say this, there's always somebody every day messing this up. It is so important that you maintain frame. You will have built up, accumulated, if you will, a certain amount of power. And you give all of that to her when you reach out, no matter how long it's been. And you will have to start all over. And this time you may not be able to get her back. It will at least be much harder. So guys, please maintain no contact, man. Have some dignity, have some self-respect for yourself. Maybe it's redundant, I'll give you that. But please remember it from now on, all right? And here's the thing, like, I know I make content, I'm trying to help you guys, with these videos and things, but dude, it actually feels like I lose whenever you lose. When I get those messages that tell me, hey, I screwed up, I reached out, I did this, even after like we've talked about it and things like this, guys, it feels like I screwed up, okay? I don't like that. My ego doesn't like that, okay? I like thinking that whenever we talk, that I actually help you. And whenever you go and you do something like this, it doesn't make me feel like I wasted my time. It makes me feel like I wasn't good enough to help you. And I don't like feeling like that. So guys, please, okay? I'm asking you as your fellow brother not to reach out to your ex. And yeah, we already know point number 2 here is to work on yourself. I'm going to go ahead and skip that because you've heard it so much. How about point number 3? And that is to detach from her. Detach from the outcome. Stop putting everything on a timeline. Stop thinking if she doesn't get a hold of me in 2 months, that means she's over it. I'm over her. I'll send her one last text and I'll move on. Guys, I'm telling you, they reach out months, years later. It doesn't matter. It shouldn't bother you. The fact that you reached out to her is going to kill any and all future attraction that she could have for you. And your ego wants to tell you, yeah, well, I won't want anything to do with her in 6 years. And it's like, dude, if she reaches out to you in 6 years and you're not dating anybody, what's your problem? It's like, go sleep with her again. Go have fun with her again. Who cares? Oh, she hurt your feelings. Was she toxic? Be toxic right back. You guys have got to learn to have some fun with this, man. It doesn't need to be so serious, bro. Detaching from the outcome means that you're not putting everything on a timeline. That means if she reaches out to you tomorrow, a week from now, or a year from now, or 10 years from now, she gets the exact same you. Maybe better, hopefully better, right? Maybe better looking, maybe richer, and I hope all those things for you. But as far as your reaction to her reaching out should be the exact same. And the only real change should be if you're dating somebody. Meaning, if I'm not dating anybody and one of my exes reaches back out to me, the majority of them, I don't mind entertaining them or entertaining the conversation. Hell, I'll ask him out. Let's go grab a coffee and catch up. If I'm dating somebody, of course, I wouldn't entertain that option. All of my exes know this. They all know that it's okay for them to reach out to me if they ever need anything. And you'd think that they would use me, right? You think that they'd use me for like a ride places or maybe for some extra money or something like that. But I'm telling you right now, in the over 3 decades I've been on this earth, not one of them have ever done that. Usually they reach out for something else, okay? And it feels pretty good. But again, I'm detached from that outcome. Sometimes they want something more, sometimes they don't. I don't care. When you're able to entertain a thought without trying to control the outcome, the emotional detachment that you'll feel will enable you to feel free. You won't feel a certain way no matter how it goes. And it's being able to detach like that from the outcome, from these arbitrary timelines that we like to put on people's emotions, that will enable you to rest in your masculine frame. So maybe at the beginning of the breakup, when she's still very pissed off at you, she probably doesn't want to reach out to you, even if she's checking your profile regularly, and a lot of them do. But you give it a few weeks or a few months when those emotions have died down, and I promise you, she's going to check. She's going to get real curious about you. And yes, she's going to want to text you. She's going to think about it at night whenever her next date fails her, when the Tinder guy that she was so excited about doesn't feel the same. He doesn't have the same depth or the same history that she had with you. That's when her silence doesn't become your problem, it becomes hers. It backfires on her. That's when she has to lay her ego at your feet and she has to tell you she's sorry. Maybe not with her lips, not those lips. Moving on. She might reach out to you, she might not at this stage, but all exes check. All of them get curious. You may be checking every day multiple times, and I highly suggest you don't do that, but it's very normal. And even if you think your ex doesn't feel the exact same way that you do, that's fine. She's still going to get curious. She still will check. All of them do. And she doesn't reach out because she doesn't want to be vulnerable, or she doesn't want you to see how vulnerable she's actually become. Because you reclaiming control over the silence that she gave you will make her look weak if she reaches out and she knows it. And she doesn't want to be rejected. That's why I teach men you can't be pissy. You can't be posting this emotional butthurt stuff all over your profile. She has to feel like she's able to reach out to you without being attacked. So what she'll do is she'll think about it. For weeks, for months, possibly. This is usually the stage right before she starts to breadcrumb you. Because that's what breadcrumbing really is. It's her reaching out to you in her own way to try and get you to break and message her. Because if you message her first, she has the power. That is, the power to reject you if she so chooses. Lil bro, you got this. And I've got you. I'll see you in the next one.